Sooner Scoop HD.
Well, it it gives us a lot more comfort. All of us as a coaching staff, you've gotten more proven guys in the room, certainly at that position, and there's nothing like experience. And then you got to have some depth. I know we all. It would have been really uncomfortable all year had you not had some additional personnel additions. So. I'm anxious to watch these guys go and compete and work and help each other get better. And I knew Davis from his high school days. My sons played against him in high school. Great player, great athlete, and from Greenville. And then as a fan of college football and just football generally speaking, know the Booty, the grandfather that was a legendary coach in the state of Louisiana, and then. Both dads, one at SC and one at LSU, dad and uncle. That's really cool to. I think this got a chance to be a great story with General Booty, and not because of his name, but just a great story on how he got here, and really goes back all the way to the whatever it was, sometime in October or November when, the SMU quarterback, the TCU quarterback, the Southern. Cal quarterback and the South Carolina quarterback all decided that this wasn't going to be their home anymore, and and now we got a walk-on, right? We're celebrating a walk-on coming in here. So I was a walk-on, so no disrespect, but that's gonna be fun to watch. Well, and I wasn't in the weeds with Matt last year, in good or bad. I know they had a successful season, but I've known Matt a long time. His brother Luke played for us, and then was a student assistant coach with us as well. And Matt's one of the most respected people in the state of Oklahoma when it comes to coaches and how he does what he does. He stands for all the right things, and we've stayed in touch a lot. Through the years, and so you're getting a quality football coach, incredible football coach and football mind, and but also somebody that stands for all the right things in the game and does things the right way, and he's got a tremendous reputation, and so for me, I'm a first-time head coach, right? So I need some good counsel, right? A wise man learns from others, so I'm going to try to surround myself with as many people as I can that can help me. I'm just one person. I just got one brain. If we're going to be successful, it's not going to be just because of me. It's going to be because of all of us, the Oklahoma football family, players, coaches, support staff, everyone. So he's probably won't keep him long. He'll have some opportunities, but I'm really thankful that he chose to come here. Yeah, I think being a dad or a mom, being a parent, the great quarterback, the great linebacker, the great play caller, all one of their qualities is having anticipation. As a parent, you're trying to think 10 and 15 and 20 steps ahead because, whether the child's 3 or they're 20, they don't know what they don't know because they haven't been 30 yet, right? And so you're always trying to look down the road in how you make decisions and anticipate, how things might work out. So absolutely, as we build a program, whether that's, a new conference or, again, who knows, where some of the transfer portal or NIL or the NCAA and all these different things, where it's going to go. But, you don't want to be reactory, You want to be very proactive in everything that you do and be aggressive and be on the aggressive side of, continue to push your program forward in the now, today, right here where your feet are. And I think that's important too, that you don't get paralyzed and stagnant and and fall behind either. There's a delicate balance there, and so we as a football program, administration, and coaching staff are trying to be very mindful of all of that. Ooh, golly. Didn't know about my job. Didn't know about my job. Didn't know about my job. Man. I would say just things don't happen as fast as you want sometimes. That, and I've always believed that you got to go through stuff, right? And, to get stuff done, sometimes you got to go through stuff, and there's got to be some patience and some nurturing. I don't know but that's been probably the most revealing. And but I'm in a leadership position, so I get to control a lot of that. But there's some of those things that just have to go through their processes. And I think roster management is probably the next thing. And, we have 40% of our rosters brand new. And so when I said yes to the job, I wasn't thinking like one iota in that moment about the possibility of I got to change almost half our roster, and I didn't. So I had to learn, okay, so now that I have to deal with this, here's I got some different options, my choices that I got to make that I really didn't think about. All right, so what's my priorities? What am I looking for? So, for example, the transfer portal, we wanted, again, I said this earlier, we decided in the moment to find experience and find leaders wherever they're coming from. We want to bring that, even if it's a little bit lesser play. Sometimes it's great play, but our willingness to kind of manage that. The roster management piece is ever changing more now than ever. It is it lacks a lot of stability, for obvious reasons. So you got to be. To me, it goes back to how to try to keep it stable. Is you just push it back and go to the core and the foundation of your program, and that's relationships. It all starts with the people, and to me, that gives you an opportunity to have a little more stability and longevity. I'm sorry, what? A sophomore year? Oh, it is? I didn't know. Again, there's a few more guys that also could have made the cut, and I had to make some decisions for lots of different reasons, but it's about the work they've put in, the consistency from the last 7 months. It's about the buy-in. It's about buying into the culture. It's about the work that they put in. It's about the leadership. It's about how you play, I bet you there's not many, if at all any, third-team guys here either, right? And so, just earning the right to be here. It's got to be a big deal, and you got to represent the place, this university, and our team the right way. And he's earned that opportunity. But I'd run out of fingers and toes, to be honest with you, with some other guys that could have easily have been here as well. And but everything matters. I know I've said that a lot. But if you're a guy, okay, you're this great player and you've got these, or you're a good player and, you've made plays for us on both sides of the ball, whatever, either side of the ball rather, but you've been late like 4 times, that's unacceptable, I'm just using one example, like y'all decide that, and your destiny is a daily decision. And so, in the broadest sense, that's how, Ethan got here. Yeah, his effort, he's got, again, uncommon effort, and he's very committed. He's a pleaser. He goes above and beyond. He does the little things, with great intention, and as he's ultra consistent. All things that give you a chance to be successful for a long time. I mean, I think so. Again, guys, the window to go take visits was a very small window. So when did the window start? Started in June, right? So if it's like any normal process, you take a few visits, you check out places. Hopefully guys were taking advantage of unofficial opportunities as well, and now you've educated yourself, and now you get together as a family or whatever support system you have, and you make a decision. So whether that's late June or early July, that's how we felt like, it would work. And again, my biggest thing is because you can't be everywhere. You're trying to be genuine and authentic. Instead of recruiting, 250 guys, let's find 75 guys that we can recruit really hard, that we can really develop relationships, have a high hit rate with him, from the amount of guys that we've recruited, and then this will give us an opportunity to get the best guys that fit, that hopefully not only fit but stay here for their whole career. And so we're very honest and transparent. And so when they do choose to come here, they're coming here for all the right reasons, not based on emotion or, what kind of a photo shoot, experience they had, or, the Lamborghini they took a picture with. Man, I want them to come here because they had a chance to weigh it all out, okay, compare and contrast, and find the best place for them. And you know what? I don't think this is the best place for everybody. I don't have that. Oh, man, how could you not say yes to Oklahoma? I don't live like that. And I think that's naive. And it's got to be the right fit. And I don't want to trick anybody. I don't want to prey on the emotions of a 17, 18-year-old young person and have a commitment that doesn't really mean, what we've clearly defined. I just think those positions are different. Defensive end play, mentally, physically, technique. There's some carryover between D tackle and DN, but there's a ton of differences in how you drill it, the things that they see. I think offenses attack defensive ends, their eyes, their techniques, their positioning, and it put a lot of stress on the edges of your defense. And so I think they need a very intimate, intricate, detailed, precise coaching and development. I wasn't aware of that. I really don't. Yeah, I haven't paid attention to it. That's interesting. But and we do a lot of stuff together. I think, man, if you're gonna be a great D lineman, you got to be great D lines. Do it together. They do it together, and so we do a lot of stuff together. One, develop chemistry, develop mindset. Like, man, it all starts up front. Well, man, we got to be together. Man, we got to have an edge. We're gonna set the tempo, and so you do stuff together for that reason, and then you do a lot of games and stunts and twists and all that kind of stuff. So you got to work on your timing and your alignments and all that. And but I'm not sure why that is. Other people don't, but that's just kind of our philosophy and our belief system. The corners? Yeah, tremendously. And I think whether that's the fundamentals, it's the techniques, it's the scheme, it's the understanding of and exposure to a variety of things. And then for us, our focus will be on, really deeply understanding. And sometimes you don't know this until you get to game day, all right? But get to a point where you really understand their strengths and weaknesses, and then work really hard schematically to help them be successful. And I'll say this all the time to a young player that doesn't know what to do because he doesn't spend the quality time that it takes mentally to know the scheme and things of that nature. And so I've got to protect him because he doesn't know as much. And so, my challenge to them is, you want more opportunity, then you've got to, you got to give me a reason to put you in there. I don't want to just protect you all the time. But you have to have awareness as a play caller and as a position coach to protect your guys too. And don't ask them to do things that they can't do. And if you're a press philosophy guy, well, you can't just press all the time. You got to change it up some, because people are going to attack your schemes. So you got to have great awareness for what your schemes are, what your tendencies are, and how you need to help your players. And you do that with some of the fundamentals within the scheme. Okay, we're a press team, let's go press bail. If all right, we're a press team, all right, let's roll over the top. And this guy's we're really thin this week. We have a bunch of guys that are injured. Well, don't ask him to play man-to-man every single snap. Okay, and so I say that like I got all the answers. I'm up here. I'm on the mic. I'm not out on the field coaching right now. I do have all the answers, right? But I say that with knowing again where our players are right now, how we started in the spring to where we're at now. Man, I've been so excited about that group and the depth that we've added. But I'm equally excited about guys that are here that are earning their way, like. Just a few seeds of belief, man, what that can do to people. You can speak life and death. The power of the tongue is a very real thing. And speaking, positivity and great results into these guys and helping create a vision for them is a very real thing. Getting the buy-in and confidence, all those things. You got to get them to the right place. We've been saying, like, how you think, that's going to determine whether or not you're going to be successful. So getting our guys confident in themselves, in the scheme, in their fundamentals, in their technique, and their skill, and then asking them to do things that they can do well. So, I mean, like I love a guy like a Josh Eaton, for example. That, man, if you said, okay, what was my 10,000-foot view of Josh, and I've shared this with him and his family, like he was just too silly. He wasn't serious about his future. Great kid, fun to be around, but wasn't focused and serious about being great. And he'll be the first one to tell you that. He's not here today, but, man, I've seen this great growth, and hopefully, it'll come to fruition from, getting an opportunity to play and to contribute. But I've seen tremendous growth just in his mindset, in his buy-in, and then leads to his work, and then it leads to his production, and then it leads to the trust. And then now next thing you know, the teammates start believing him. Now he's walking around with a little edge and a swag, and you get that confidence from the work that you put in. And I don't want any of our guys walking around with false bravado and like we owe you or whatever that means. I don't buy that. Your confidence in the edge and the swag comes from the work that you put in and the scars that you got. And so when you talk about cornerback play, man, I've been really pleased with the improvement that group has made. Woody's here; he's led the way at cornerback with those guys, and but we got a good, strong group of guys that maybe their past hasn't necessarily been indicative of what they're capable of. And a lot of times, and they'll be the first ones to tell you, they take responsibility in that too, and where they got to buy in completely to what that, to play at a high level, man, there's got to be a ton of buy-in, man. You got to put a lot of work in, and you're going to still have to go through some stuff. The way you put them corners out there on an island, like it's going to take that too. You can't play cover two every snap or man under two deep every snap and win at the highest level. You're going to get obliterated. And but whatever the scheme is, they got to play within that scheme. I love the group of guys. We've added a few guys. C.J. Colton, he has started a bunch of games at Wyoming, and then Gentry Williams, and I know he's well thought of here, and most people that follow Oklahoma know the state of Oklahoma. He can fly, and what I loved about Gentry Williams was, man, he was tough. He's a skill guy that's tough. He's a DB, but he's a corner that played in the B gap. Come off the edge. Played quarterback, ran jet sweeps. Man, stoning people in the run game. Just played with a toughness that you can't coach. And then Jaden Rowe as well. I'm thinking that was all of our corners, but Jaden, 6'3", and he's 220 pounds, and ran 4.41, 4.40, jumped 40 inches, and through some of the coaching work that we've been able to work with these guys this summer, and his fundamentals and technique, man, he's not quite as raw as we thought, and it's very early and all that, but we got a really good group of guys, and whether it's Kendall Dennis or DJ Graham, and it's Jaden Davis, it's a really fun group of guys that I think is going to put their best foot forward this fall. Well, you asked a question already. I'm sorry. Who? Yeah, it's not quite as complicated as you might think. Obviously, I've known Jeff since he was in high school and was on the staff when we signed him, and then he was a student assistant with us. And then, so when people are in your family, you don't just forget about your family. So stayed in touch with him and have watched him grow in the profession. Obviously, what they've done, the success that they've had wherever he's been systematically is. You don't just do a system and then that's all you do. They'll say, "Oh, Brent Venables' system." No, it's always evolving, always willing to make a hard right-hand turn, always getting better, improving, responding to the changes in college football, whether it's rules or what offenses are doing. So I know he puts a lot of pressure on people, both with philosophy and with scheme, but great play caller. Calls with great anticipation. He's a great leader. He's got toughness, but great humility as well. Just a tremendous leader, great family man, stands for the same things that we do as a program from a value system standpoint, but he understands the stress that, you can cause defenses both by formations and motions and sets, and then and again structurally how you run your offense. So I couldn't be more thrilled with having Jeff and Staley and his wife and his family in the Oklahoma family. Again, he said it's the second time he said yes to Oklahoma, so really, really thrilled. Yeah, just, continue to become a great leader. And so there's lots of examples of how you do that. But you got to be willing to get uncomfortable and call guys up and challenge people, and sometimes being a leader is lonely, but the great teams have to be player driven. And if we're going to be a great program this season and moving forward, man, we got to recruit guys that have an ability to be developed into great leaders, or maybe they possess a lot of those qualities when they come in, and we help nurture that development as well. But as we know of all the past experience here, the quarterback position is not just an add-on. It's like it's been the reason why we've been successful. And at every level of football, if you're going to be successful, it's driven by having great quarterback play and leadership.
Have you hired a get-back coach yet?
Yeah, no get-back coaches. Are you looking? You got endurance? All right. All right, good. We'll be good. Mm-hmm. I think it just kind of validates what you've been saying all along, Are you going to promote? You haven't even started a dang game before. They should put you on the list. I mean, I'm not having to have that talk. And I'm not having to talk anybody off the ledge, but my job is to make sure that I go out of my way to, because there's going to be somebody probably in there with the feelings hurt, or maybe I know how young people are. Sometimes being in this game this long, that people have an overinflated opinion of themselves, and if you're going to really grow and improve and to reach your potential, man, you got to have great awareness, and then humility's in being humbled is a great thing. So if there was, I I wasn't offended whatsoever. I didn't think it was a disrespect for in any way, shape, or form. Whether it's where we were picked as a team or it doesn't matter. All right, we're going to be inside out. But two, I like that. Young people again just inherently don't have great self-awareness, and so. When you live at a place like Norman, Oklahoma, and it's a college town, we've had incredible success. Everybody's always patting these guys on the back and telling them how great they are, and sometimes, occasionally, people think that you just show up and you're successful just by showing up and hooting and hollering. And so, again, for me, it's always been about the work. And Sun Tzu said, right, every battle's won before it's fought, talking about the preparation. I mean, you got to put the work in, and you got to get scarred up. You have a mountaintop experience, man, you got to go through them valleys. And that's where the work is. That's where failure is. That's where adversity is. That's where you get scarred up. So, whether or not they got scarred up, I'm sure they didn't through not being left off. But I like it. It's always good. Yeah, it's very simple, and I shouldn't say very simple, but a simple answer for me that is all-encompassing is just a daily improvement, and that's not being naive, that's not being cliche-ish. True understanding of success is taking something from wherever it is and making it better. And if we're going to be a program that's successful, that is got to be a foundational piece of it, is daily improvement. And again, we say it all the time, quit worrying about someday, and yesterday's a dead yesterday. You learn from your past, you grow through success and failure. But you're never going to tap into the greatness that's inside of you unless you focus on right here, right now. And so, for us as a program, we wanted to be better when we started in January to when we started spring ball, from a conditioning and a mindset and a toughness and a commitment to those standards that we established. And then from spring ball, we wanted to be better spring game than what we were at the beginning, and feel like we without question we were. And then from the beginning of the summer to the end of the summer, man, we've continued to develop toughness, strength, speed, explosiveness, mentally, all the walkthroughs and the film study that these guys have put in. So we're in a much better place going into fall camp. And for me, as a whether I'm a first-year head coach, or I'm the defensive coordinator, I'm the linebacker coach, my job and my expectation and my responsibility is to make us better from wherever we started to wherever we end. And to me, that's going to be a true measure, of success. It's touched really every part of it. He's a manager of people. He understands once he's in those spaces where the weaknesses are and where maybe some shortcomings are, and so what you need to do, whether it's personnel or it's kick a wall out or it's get new equipment or where we're going, he anticipates really well. And he's been again a part of some amazing programs and an amazing success wherever he's been. And then he's going to tell you the truth, whether you want to hear it or not. And so he's had tremendous influence. We're not anywhere close to where we need to be from a facility standpoint, what our expectations are, and what we need to be successful at the highest level. I don't want to be competitive. I don't want to just win. I want to win for a long time at the very highest level. And so you always have to continue to improve, have a growth mindset, and and continue to evolve, and get better and stay ahead of the game. And you got to be anticipating, what's down the road. And so he's a huge part of all of that, helping us get there. Well, I mean, it's an honor, and I know I know these guys, and so I've had long history. Like Coach McGuire, I used to recruit at school for 13 years down in Dallas, and so man, Kirby got a great one. He got a great human being and a really good football coach. But so what's it like? It's a cool thing. It's an honor to be alongside them on their inaugural run at being a head coach. But the cool thing for me is I'm a new head coach, but I'm not new to Oklahoma. So there's a lot of comfort and relationships that are established, and a very clear vision of what we got to do to be successful. Oh, every day, foundationally to my core, and all those coaches, every day, and that's the cool thing about the game of football. You learn so many life lessons, through the game, and but Coach Snyder's had tremendous influence on me. I could not have had a better initial mentor as a young coach than Bill Snyder, and a lot of young people may not look at it the same way, but he's, many times thought of as the architect of the biggest turnaround in the history of college football. Well, that's a pretty bold statement, and but he didn't do it by tricking people. He didn't do it by challenging the integrity of who he was as a leader. He did it the right way. He did it old school, and he got more out of less, and he didn't have to change up the message, every week or every year, because if the message is good, why would you change it? And old school, hard work, toughness, accountability, discipline, fundamentals, and common effort. I can go on and on and on. They said we got a time limit here, but every single day. Yeah, I love the toughness, and I love the chemistry, and I love the servant mentality. They're dependable, they're reliable, they're accountable. You don't see any of them on any kind of list, and so they're consistent. They show up every day. They know how to compete. They know how to serve one another, but they got a toughness to them, that I really love. And there's definitely skill there. And we had a couple of additions with JJ and LV in the portal, and then having a Nick come off injury as well, along with Jaden, and we had a couple of walk-ons as well. Young man Freeman has really done a great job as well, and but I love all those qualities. That's what you want. That's how you want to build a team. By the qualities that group, exemplifies every day.
Sooner Scoop HD.